We have a MacBook Pro. It says more like coming from the same company, most likely, because that side, yeah, that side, yeah. Check any USB-C, or you can just use this one. So it says no drive, no display, no drive. Let's see, does it even turn on at all? This is an A1278 MacBook Pro, 13 inches, and it's a 2012. This is a Wait, is it a 2012? No, this is a 2011. This is a 2011, 2936. That's a 2011. One way you can tell that it's a 2011 is also if you look at this is a 2012 screen cable. As you see how this is silver and that is gold. So this is 2012. This is a 2012. This shell it's a 2012 shell, but the board is a 2011 board. I mean, also the SMC. Also, you can tell from the difference between the SMCs. Okay, so this is a 2012 board. You see the SMC, and then you see the SMC. You see the quite difference. And also okay, obviously the board number is going to vary. This is going to be 8202936. This is going to be 8203115. Okay, let's see what we have. The machine has no screws at the back of it. Let's disconnect our. Okay, we can just leave the battery connected. We don't have charger communication, so that may just be the charger is not properly connected. Let's disconnect the battery and try again. Okay, we still do not have charger communication. So what we want to do is we want to see if we have PPDC in voltage. Let's quickly open up our board view so we can follow up with it. Our board is going to be 80-2936. Let's open up 820-2936. That's a 2011 MacBook Pro. Okay, that's our board. Now, to confirm if we have PPDC in, we can check if we have PP3V42. PP3V42 we can measure at L6995, which is a PP which is an inductor. We can see if we have PP3V42 on that line. So the goal is if we have PP3V42 on that line, it tells us that we have PPDC in, because if you cannot have PPDC, if you cannot have PP3V42 if you don't have PPDC in voltage. So let's see if we have PP3V42, and that's 0. Okay, we have 0 there. Now let's see, do we have PPDC in? So we can check to see if we have PPDC in on U7000 line, which is let's see, charger AC in, charger DC in. Okay, let's say pin 3. Okay, so let's see what we have on charger DC in here, which is we can use 6705, which is going to be this cap here. Okay, so that tells us that we do have charger. We do have charger communication in terms of we have voltage going into the machine. So let's quickly open up the schematic so that we'll probably get a better idea of this is what this is about. It is a dash. It is a dash 2936. Let's open up the schematic. Now on our schematic, we will have a page that will say something about power aliases. Let's locate that 7. So on page 7, let us go to, so here under your pages, you go to page 7. You have power aliases. Let's go to page 7. Now on our page 7, if we follow, we will see the list of power rails that are going to be available for this machine. Now PP bus underscore G3 out. We just confirmed our PPDC in is present. This is which is the line here. We confirmed that our PPDC in is present. We confirm that our PP3V42 is not present. PP3V42 is not present. However, PPDC in is present. We can just again confirm that by copying that line, and then we paste it on our. We copy the signal description or voltage description line, and then we paste it on our board view, and then we see where that shows up on our board view, and then we measure to see if that is it's present on our board. PPDC in, let's copy and we paste. Let's see, do we have PPDC in voltage? Where does it show up? Okay, so PPDC in shows up here. Q7085, let's see, Q7085, which is, and also on C7031. So C7031 and C7030, that's going to be these two caps here. Let's see, do we have PPDC in? Yes, we have PPDC in. Now, we checked to see if we have PP3V42. We do not have PP3V42. Now, that can either be the voltages, that can either be the rod is not being created, or we have a short on that line. So what we want to do, and also another thing we can notice is we do not have charger communication, because PP3V42 plays a critical role in your one wire circuit, which is basically what will power your LED on the charger. So let's quickly remove the board and then get a better idea what is happening. So we already see that we do not have PP3V42. So let's take our board out to find out if either that voltage line, that line is not being, PP3V42 is not being generated, or we have a short on that line. So let's quickly take our board out and then find out exactly what it is that we have, why we do not have PP3V42. By the way, also common on the 81278, the 2012s, sometimes the 2011, it's you have liquid in this section, which is the battery indicator board, and then you get a short to you can get a short to ground through that cable, which is this cable here. Yeah, you can sometimes get a short to ground through that line, and obviously when that happens, uh, the commonest thing would be that you have battery not charging. So anyway, that's going to be a different, I'm going to be a thing for another video. Okay, so let's quickly take our board out. Okay, board is out. Let's put our shell aside. Okay, so we have what looks like corrosion here, and that cap is not looking good. So we will find out what that cap is. Let us remove, okay, let's take out the speaker and the heatsink cover as well. Let's take this out also to get enough room around that section of the board. Now, before we go back there, let us see what we have on our PP3V42. Do we have a short on our PP3V42? Let's check that. Let's switch to continuity mode. Let's confirm if we have a short on our PP3V42. And as you guys can see, we have a short on our PP3V42. We are not supposed to get that beep. This is what you should have on that inductor. This is the inductor that we're measuring on. This is a 2012 board. However, basically it's the same thing. So let's see what we have on that inductor. So this is what you're supposed to have. OL is not supposed to have, you're not supposed to get a beep. So that beep tells us we have a short on that line. So what you want to do is that cap that we saw earlier, which is that cap. Let us see what that cap is. So let's say if that cap is sitting on a PP3V42 line. If that's the case, that may be the reason why we have a short on that line. Let's flip to the other side. Let's see that cap. It's going to be the cap that we saw. This is the cap, and as you can see, that cap is sitting on a PP3V42 line. So what we just want to do now is so I'm just going to show you guys again. See that we have a short on that line. So we have a short on that line, and we're measuring at an inductor. That inductor is let's go back to that inductor we're measuring at. Where is our inductor here? L6995. Now, which is we can see that it has PP3 V42 underscore G3 out. Yeah. Now, if we now what we have confirmed now, it's the cap, that capacitor that is not looking good is also sitting on a PP3V42 line. So what you want to do is you want to remove this cap from the line and see what happens afterwards. You see if we still have a short. Okay, the cap is out. Before we adjust that section of the board, let's check again to see if we still have a short on that line. Back probe to ground, and then red probe here, and our short is gone. So that cap is our problem. As we can see, the short is gone. We no longer have a short on our PP3V42 line. So the next thing we want to do is we want to clean that section of the board, because we also see that there was liquid in that section of the board, and most of the track pads, the PP lines seem to have been washed off. Let's try to see if there is anything that needs to be uh, okay. So I'm just going to go back to that. Cutting boards are finished. I forgot to get cutting boards. I need a cutting board. Okay, so use a brush. Okay. Also, beside that cap, it's let's see. We also have C90, C4903, and C4906. Right now, those caps are fine, but they look a little bit rusted. If we don't replace those caps, they may fade in future, which may also result in a short like what you're having now on the same line. So let's remove the caps and replace them at the same time as we're replacing C4902. So even though the cap don't seem to be a problem now, we're expecting that in the near future that can be the case. So we it's better to we have it sorted out now, so we don't have that. Okay, let's put back the caps. Okay, it's a 2011 board. Not necessarily from not. It's not compulsory that we must take the caps from a 2011 board. We can also get those caps from a 2012 or any other board. Okay, so our problem was C4902, and C4902 was shorting PP3V42 line to ground. After we removed C4902, the short was gone. At that point, the board is fixed. Once the short was out of, once you no longer have a short on that line, the board is fixed. Now, putting back the C4902, it's not necessarily, it's not a critical, it's not critical. So we can also, the board can function without C4902 being put back. So the fix was actually just resolving the short on that line. So after the line was resolved, after the short was resolved, the fix was already complete. However, we have to put back the C4902, and then again we also had to remove and replace C4903 and C4906. C4903 and C4906 were not damaged now, but because of the liquid in that section of the board, we hope that it's in the near future that will be the case. And if that happens, what's going to happen is the same situation we have now with a short on PP342 will be the same situation we will have when the cap fails. So we decided to replace that now. So what we now want to do is test our board to see if we now have a working board. Okay, so let's connect our charger. We're expecting to have LED on our charger now, and then we're expecting to have a fan spin because we now have, okay, that's it, and then we have a fan spin, and that's it. Initially we were having 0 volt obviously on our PP3V42 line, and that's because we had a short on that line. So if we go to the inductor of L6995, initially when we measured, we had 0 volt on that line. If we check now, we should have 3.4 volt. And let's see, PPDC8, yeah, we had with this initially. So PP342, we see we have 3.4 volt. Now we have communication on our charger, and then we have a fan spin, and that's it. The repair is complete. The next thing we just quickly want to do is to see if we have a display on our screen. We most likely do have display on the screen, but let's quickly test that before we pass this on to the assembly, guys. It's gonna get assembled and then tested. Okay, let's quickly see if we have image on our screen. So this also, you guys can see that is a 2012 display, but it works on a 2011. And then the other one, we had a 2011 uh 2011 board, 2012 board, but then it had a 2011 screen, which they are interchangeable, but just that that one had liquid, which is why it wasn't working. So let's see with this one, do we have anything on the screen? We can also connect our speaker to see if we get a chime, which is obviously will to also give us an idea that we are posting. Let's see if we have something on the screen. Getting something on the screen will give us an idea that yes, we are posting. Okay, yeah, that's good. Let's wait for image. Like a question mark folder, that should do, because we do not have any bootable drive connected to the machine, so we're expecting to see a question mark folder. Waiting for it. Should be getting a question mark folder any moment from now. That's a long delay. Do we have issue with our screen also? Okay, does it seem like we have issue with our screen? Okay, let's test with a different screen. We really want the other screen. The one that we use. It's fine, I'll get it. This is also a 2012 screen, but you can use a 2012 on a 2011. You can use a 1278, which is you can use a 2012 on a 2011, and it should work just fine. Let's try this one. Something that I see looks like the connector seems to be a little bent. So bent pin there. Okay. Okay, so we want to see if our problem is on the board or the screen. We should be getting, at this point, we should be getting a question mark folder on our screen. Unless we have an issue with our board. Okay, so we don't seem to have anything on the screen. Let's quickly go to our screen connector G9000. Let's check the two main power rail that goes to the screen. PP3V3 underscore SO is definitely going to be present because we have brightness on the screen. Let's see what we have on PP3V3 underscore LCD VDD. Let's see what we have on that line. We're expecting to have 3.3 volt. Let's see what we have. Do we have 3.3 volt? 3.3 volt on pin 1. It's on pin 2. What do we have? 1.8 volt. Okay, we have a problem on that line. So it almost seems like they connected the same screen to it's almost like this board was taken out of the other shell. You understand? Because that other shell had a 2012 board inside, but had a 2011 screen, and they are coming from the same supplier. So it's kind of like they swapped the board, and that screen cable actually damaged the PP3V3 LCD VDD line, because the same inductor that got damaged on that one is the same inductor that is damaged here. So I'm very sure they kind of swapped both. Let's replace that real quick, because we see we have PP3, we have 3 volt on one side, and then we have 0 volt and 1.8 volt on the other. That's definitely an issue. Okay, let's quickly grab an inductor here. We don't have any here. Let's get another board. Okay. Mm-mm. It fell off. Okay, just grab another one. Okay, let's use a soldering iron. Yeah. I'll be going somewhere. I'm just waiting on the call. You see, I won't be able to go. I'm waiting on the call. I won't. I won't be. I'm just waiting on the call to come through. Say again. Since when is he doing that? Yeah, but does he have the battery? I don't understand. He said what? Yeah. And he doesn't know what cycle count it is. And how much is it for used battery? You don't test cycle count of a new battery. I mean, that's no, no, no. It doesn't make sense to test cycle count of a new battery. I mean, it's going to be zero. I mean, um, I don't know why he keeps annoying me. Cause I don't know. I really don't know why. he just he just has a way of. Don't worry, just carry on with what you're doing. Okay, our inductor is in place. Let's just double check we don't have a short on that line. Okay, we don't have a short. Now let's test. And now we're expecting to have image. Primarily, our problem had primarily the machine had nothing to do with. I mean, the no power had nothing to do with the inductor that we're placing now, which is on the voltage this the screen line for voltage, the voltage for the screen, which is 53 but most likely a screen cable was connected to it that kind of had a liquid on it, which burned out that line, which is why we only had. Okay, yeah. So now we see, now we have image on the screen, and that should also be the same thing with the client screen. This is a test screen. Let's quickly check with the client screen because initially we didn't have image on it. Let's see now. Let's see if we have image now. Peter, is it gone? Okay. So initially we only had just white on our screen without image. So now let's see if we have image. Image. when the fan ramps up, at that time we should be expecting to get image on the screen. Fans goes really high. Yeah, so now that we can hear the yeah, now we should. Okay, thank you. As you guys can see, now we have image on the screen. Okay, pretty much. That's it. Our primary issue was short on our PP3B42 line. After we addressed that, we tried to check if we have something, image on the screen. We did get a display on the screen, but no image. So we had to check why that is, and then we found that L904 was damaged. Most likely, a faulty cable was connected to it. Okay, guys, thank you. I will see you guys in the next one.